Over the last 40 years, technology has developed with dizzying speed. But how has it changed us? How has it transformed our homes and altered family life? To find out, the Sullivan Barneses are taking part in a unique experiment. They've been stripped of all their modern technology, including 3 games consoles, 3 DVD players, 5 mobile phones, 6 televisions and 7 computers.
It'd be fantastic at the end of it if we're slightly less hooked on all the techno stuff.
Their own home has been turned into a time machine.
What on earth have they done with our kitchen?
What do you think of the colour scheme?
They've fast-forwarded through the years at the rate of 1 a day, from the digital wilderness of the 1970s
Black and white!
to the prehistoric electronics of the 80s.
Wait. Why can't you be more patient?
Nothing ever works.
Now they're going to experience the communication revolution of the 90s.
It works!
It's embarrassing. It just makes it look like we've spent our entire time watching television.
But as the gadgets come thick and fast,
We've got a new one there.
Oh, blimey, not another one.
what price family life?
Hamish won't speak to us again, because he won't need to. Shoot! Oh!
Has progress always been for the better? And how has it changed our electric dreams? The Sullivan Barnes family are having their last breakfast of the 1980s. After a decade of technological disappointments, gadget freak Adam is enthusiastic about the 90s.
There'll be more games, there'll be more computing stuff, there'll be better TV, and we'll be back to the old world of hardly speaking to each other, probably.
Mum Georgie is worried about the impact of ever more technology on her family.
There's bound to be more distractions that pull people further away.
Toddler Jude is too young to comment, but Adam's daughter Steph and Georgie's children Ellie and Hamish are about to return to the decade in which they were born. Not that they actually remember it.
I have had the experience of the 80s, I've had the experience of the 2000s, so basically it's just in between. So I do kind of know what it's going to be like.
But the 90s may hold surprises for them all. Throughout their experience, the family have had their very own technical support team. They've arrived to take the technology in the house from the 80s to the 90s. And they've got their work cut out. Sociologist Dr. Ben Highmore specialises in the history of domestic technology.
It's the decade of the gadget, an ever-increasing array of consumer technologies demanding more and more attention from families.
Tom Wrigglesworth is in charge of all their audio-visual devices. In a decade where there were ever more possibilities for home entertainment, he's going to be busy.
All this technology meant there were more reasons for the kids to stay in the room, playing with the world's biggest remote control.
Gia Milinovic is a lifelong computer geek and technology writer.
For me, this decade is going to be quite difficult keeping up with the pace of change with the computer because software and hardware just changed constantly.
With the crucial kit in place, there's just time to add a few period flourishes. The house is all set to relive the 1990s. The family have been transformed too, with dressed-down 90s clobber. But they have no idea what's now waiting for them behind their own front door.
Oh, look!
Oh, I like this!
There we go, look. This is much nicer than the 80s.
The 80s chintz has been well and truly chucked.
Minimalist, that's the word I'm trying to think of.
Photographs of pebbles on the beach were very 90s.
There's a lot of new gadgets, a lot of technology. Wow, what a big telly. Big black telly as well.
But progress is still slower than the kids were hoping for.
Oh, 4 channels. We had 4 in the 80s. It's quite funny how only 19 years ago there was only 4 channels, and now we have you can get 600 or something.
The kitchen's no longer by Laura Ashley. But there's something even more exciting than a style makeover.
Whoa, it's bigger! We have a kitchen. It's really weird. It's got bigger. Woo!
Over the years, the kitchen has evolved from a functional workspace to a bigger and more sociable family hub.
Wow! Oh yes, we have.
The girls, of course, have no memory of the early 90s, but they're pleased to see that not everything changes.
Take that! Yes!
Let's see who I can recognise.
In a decade when technology was spreading into every corner of our homes,
Wow, that's a remote!
one object had become so cheap it was multiplying.
Blimey.
Wow!
Far Eastern labour, cheaper parts, and expanding global economies meant TVs cost 95% less than the model the family had in the 1970s.
We have this one.
Georgie and I will have this one, because this is
Do we need a telly in our room?
You got a video for
Just because we've got one? We don't need one, do we? We've been saying how nice it's been to be together as a family.
Have I missed not having a telly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine,
Slightly.
let's have it then.
Yeah,
Okay. That's fine.
We should do on this one.
By the end of the decade, TVs had moved into the rooms of 2/3 of British kids. Bedroom culture had taken over. But the shared experience of family viewing is something Georgie would love to hold on to.
I'm hoping the TV reception will be so poor with the aerials they've got that they won't actually choose to sit up here and watch telly. They'll want to come down for the bigger screen that's in the sitting room. So, fingers crossed.
The fax machine had also become cheap enough to spread from the office into the home.
Oh,
Wait, don't answer it. It might be a fax machine.
Now a home phone line could be used to telework, a popular 90s concept that promised we could all work from home.
Oh, here it goes.
stand back.
Their first fax is from the tech team.
We look forward to celebrating the new millennium with you at the end of the decade and suggest that you use all the 90s technology at your disposal to plan your own millennium party.
What's a millennium party?
It's like the biggest ever New Year's Eve party. People spent a lot of money making it a really exciting night.
90s consumer culture was driven more than ever before by exhaustive market research. In the spirit of the times, the tech teams turned the family into a focus group. They're being asked what gadgets they'd like to have delivered to their door.
The thing to do will be to shout out things that you think, technology-wise, we should be having in the 90s.
Remote control cars and boats and planes. Rollerblades.
Games consoles.
Electric scooters.
What about computers?
Mobiles. Satellite TV.
Though the children can barely remember the decade, they know exactly what they want. Hamish attempts to fax their list to the tech team.
Never sent a fax before.
Thanks to the explosive growth of email, it's something he probably won't ever have to do again. On the other side of Reading, the tech team are in their workshop.
Here it comes. It's from the house.
On the list is mobile phones, satellite TV, the internet, and a request for handheld games from gaming fan Hamish.
The 90s was the point at which the games industry just massively took off. And now it's overtaken music sales and it's, certainly gives Hollywood a run for its money.
The tech team get a first taste of just how demanding the family is going to be in the coming decade.
Please remember we know where you live.
Ooh.
Slightly sinister end to a facsimile there.
Early evening and time to settle down to watch some television. Or rather, some televisions.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight,
Margaret Thatcher left 10 Downing Street for the last time.
Madam Witch.
Brilliant.
After 11 and a half wonderful years, that we leave the United Kingdom in a very, very much better state than when we came here 11 and a half years ago.
As 1990 draws to a close, the family has mixed feelings about their higher tech home.
We all got like tellies in our rooms and stuff, which I think's quite nice, but then in some ways it's probably a bad thing. Dunno.
I think I'm going to enjoy the 90s a lot more than I did the 70s or the 80s. Now that I'd have a TV and a video player, I think I will be spending more time in my bedroom.
A new day, and for the Sullivan-Barnes family, it's 1991.
So now I think you have to write when. Okay. Oh, nice one.
Attacked military targets in Iraq and Baghdad last night.
Britain is at war, but escape from the grim news came from an altogether more harmless conflict.
Species like these fluffy bunnies face a new threat. The predator disturbing their dreams is an electronic hedgehog.
This was the year Sonic the Hedgehog was born, to combat the market dominance of an Italian plumber called Mario. They were the #1 video game characters of Sega and Nintendo, who were cashing in on Britain's insatiable appetite for electronic imports from the Far East. The Japanese giants were battling for control of the handheld gaming market.
Game Boy, that's yours, I believe. There you go.
Oh, they're both mine.
Both now offered cartridge-based portable consoles.
Who remembers Sonic the Hedgehog?
Me.
Sega's Game Gear was in colour, but it was a pricey £200 in today's money, twice the price of their rival's Game Boy.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that.
Nintendo's knockout punch was to include the notoriously habit-forming Tetris.
This will keep me entertained for many a days.
The nation agreed, and by the end of 1991, 800,000 Britons had one. We'd never known technology so portable, addictive, and antisocial.
I think it is pretty sad, don't you?
I don't know.
Hamish won't speak to us again because he won't need to, apart from when he needs to eat or drink.
Isn't that what you've been hoping for, though?
Well, it is quite pleasant sometimes, but it's been quite nice talking to him the last few weeks.
It's 1992, and even more home entertainment is on the way. This was the year B-Sky B bought up the Premiership. And for the first time, Britain started signing up to satellite TV in significant numbers.
1992, and I've got you satellite dish.
Wow, look at the size of that.
Satellite TV. Yeah,
it's huge.
Where should we put it?
You
want to make a statement, don't you, with it?
A statement? No, God, I don't want it on the side of the house.
Really?
No. It's a bit council house. That's the problem.
Really?
Yeah.
You worried about the neighbours?
Yeah. Adam's concerns were very typical of the time.
We call them architectural acne down here, and when they sprout out, as acne does, they are very unattractive.
In the 1980s, technology was a status symbol, and showing it off told the world you were rich. But 90s high-tech was increasingly affordable for everyone, and suddenly your choices could tell a different story.
It's totally out of place. I really don't believe it should be there in full frontal of a period building. going on then? It just says couch potato to me.
Really? Right.
I'm slightly embarrassed that it's in full view of the road.
It's a lot bigger and uglier than I actually remember.
I think this is definitely the slippery slope. Satellite telly is just such a mind drain, waste of time.
Georgie needn't worry. The giant dish has changed the house on the outside, but it won't change their viewing habits on the inside much just yet. In 1992, it would deliver a meager 5 extra channels.
I'll get it.
The family's fax to the tech team also requested mobile phones. But in 1992, mobiles were still far too expensive for the non-business user. So they've been sent a cheaper alternative. The pager.
What are pages? It's beat. What are they?
Already a workplace success, this messaging technology looked like it might catch on for personal use too.
It's quite neat, isn't it? Makes me feel like a drug dealer.
The family need to go shopping for their millennium party. They pile into their family-friendly 90s people carrier, taking their pagers with them. Most of Britain's pager network was turned off in 2004, so Tom has set up his own inside the tech team van, which is parked next to the local shopping centre.
So, we've got a list of things to do. Shall we split up, divide and conquer?
When we've found something, we'll let you know. Quick!
Each group has the same shopping list, and they've agreed to page each other whenever they find something.
Pens, pens, pens.
The dot ones are quite 90s. Right, we need to find a phone, guys.
To page, the family have to phone Tom and dictate their message to him. But there's a limit on how much they can say.
We've got 20 characters, and then we'll have to send another message to tell them what else we've got. Got space balloon, napkins space balloons.
It says thing on valid.
But modern 12-year-olds aren't au fait with payphones.
Put the other 20 back in. Good, go.
0799.
Hello, can I send a message to pager number 1?
Of course you can, it sounds like Georgie.
Got space napkins space balloons.
Got napkins, balloons.
Tom acts as operator, sending the message on.
It's a one-way radio. So when you type in the message in the page number here, you press send, and it just sends radio one way to the pages. So all the pages are little radio receivers.
Things that make you go,
Napkins, balloons, and they got ribbons.
We need to find a phone and phone them and let them know we've got the blue tack and stuff, otherwise they'll go and buy it again.
I will pick them.
Wait, no. I'll just use credit card. Piece of junk. Let's go find another payphone. In the 90s, there would have been a whole bank filled of phones there.
It's got communication mad in here.
Got space, blue tack, space scissors.
The girls are having no problem with the system.
Or they got blue tack and scissors, which is what we've got.
Oh no. So please buy crepe paper and pipe cleaners. Where are we going to get those from? Oh, I've got credit, hooray. Oh, hello, could I send a page, please?
Adam! Hello, what's your message?
Got sellotape.
Excellent, thanks for your message, Adam. That's winging its way over immediately.
Thanks, Tom.
things that make you go,
It just reminds me that when we didn't have mobiles, we used to be a bit more organised.
Pages did grow and grow in popularity throughout the 90s, but they were pretty much killed off as far as Joe Public is concerned when the GSM network got extremely reliable, a lot cheaper, and then ultimately, of course, text messaging kicked off.
Hi, where have you been?
You said pipe cleaners, we got...
Martini glass, ×2.
You said crepe paper.
If I can find it.
We got...
Shot glass, ×2.
But the pièce de résistance is still to come. We got cocktail shaker.
Why? None of that's on the list. Why have you got all that junk?
We don't need any of that. You can take that back. All afternoon, you've gone and got beer glasses. You complete twit.
Oh, one at a time.
If you haven't got a phone accessible...
You meant to go to the high street. Having a phone.
We couldn't find one.
There was eight on the high street.
I think we've discovered it's not a very good system.
I think we've discovered that you're not very good at paging.
This way.
'90s technology gave us more and more choices for entertainment at home. And '90s families spent more and more time indoors. One advantage seemed to be that parents could keep a watchful eye on their children.
It just makes me feel sad that we don't let them out more. We don't make them go out more. Maybe that's the answer. But we know they're safe. They're in the home, we know they're safe. And it's not how I was brought up.
With screen time for kids at an all-time high, tragic events in 1993 called into question exactly what they were watching and how it was affecting them.
Good evening. An angry crowd gathered this morning outside the courtroom on Merseyside where two 10-year-old boys were formally charged with the murder of the toddler James Bulger.
The idea that John Venables may have been influenced by violent videos was fueled by the judge's remarks today. He said that exposure to violent video films may in part be an explanation. Neil Venables, his father, did rent out Child's Play 3, which shows a demonic doll being killed, but denies the boy ever saw any violent videos. The horror of the murder has triggered paroxysms of moral panic and national self-doubt.
It wasn't just movies that got drawn into the debate. Now video nasties could be interactive. Gory games were seen as a new high-tech culprit for juvenile delinquency.
Some children are having an increasing difficulty in telling the difference between fact and fiction.
Playing computer games can lead to addiction. It can lead to heightened heights of aggression immediately after playing.
It may provide an adrenaline rush for people who like punching buttons very quickly, but I think it's no more sophisticated than a game of ping pong, it seems to me.
Although this morning's delivery of gaming consoles may seem harmless,
Sega. Oh, we have a Sega. 16-bit. Can I have one of my own?
Possibly.
the tech team have felt the need to send in a parental advisory note.
We feel that it's our responsibility in 1993 to ask you to take a look at the games we've included and make sure you are happy with their content before you give them to the children.
You might want to check out Mortal Kombat. That doesn't sound great.
What is that?
It's not got guns or knives or anything like that in it, so you could argue that it is just cartoon violence, which has been around forever. It pales in comparison to a modern computer game, which is so real that it's almost cinema quality.
Do you know, I'm actually not worried about this, to be honest. The graphics are almost comical, whereas in the games now, you know, there's blood flying and bruises and cuts and whatever left. It does look very real.
So we'll pass that, shall we?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
OK.
Though the games look tame now, in 1993 violent videos and video games were discussed in Parliament. The following year, age ratings were applied to games.
Kids! Kids! You can have all the games in your rooms, but you need to decide which room you want to go in.
There's a console for each bedroom, but they're completely incompatible. Sonic and Mario were once again battling for children's hearts and a share of a market that would sell over 2 million consoles in 1993.
So you both want the Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay.
In this family, the plumber's clearly winning.
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to decide which games console is going to go in.
Why don't we have one in Hamish's room and one down here then?
We're not having one down here.
Why not?
Because I say we're not having one down
Why
here.
not?
If you don't want them, fine. Just give them to Hamish. I don't care who has them.
Because then that'll mean that whenever people come in our room, all they want to do is play on the games.
Why don't you just have one each, and then you can decide if it's working or not and change it around if it's not. We'll have to do a fair draw. Flip a coin. We'll have to flip a coin, but who wants it, who gets it?
Flip a coin.
We are.
Heads, please.
It's a 50-50 chance. You going to call?
No, don't do flip coins, rubbish.
Look, Hamish, if you're going to be difficult, I'll just give it to the girls.
No, you can't.
I can. You're sounding like a little brat. Now stop it. We are going to have a coin.
Then.
We are flipping a coin.
No, I'm not going to have flip
Cool.
coins. If I say win or not.
Heads.
It's a head.
It's not letting you have it.
Well, that's the decision, so you don't have a choice. You need a hand setting it up.
Please.
Okay. Look, don't start, Hamish, don't start fighting over it. I'm sure if you ask the girls, they'll let you use it.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
I don't like it when people flip coins. I don't want both of you off.
Bye, then.
Goodbye.
See, this is the sort of trouble these things cause.
More choice doesn't necessarily make for a happier family, but it can create a more possessive one.
He's very bad-tempered sometimes. I think he needs some anger management classes. Should we move the video player because it's not really helping?
Whenever the doorbell rings and there's a parcel and it's something we haven't had for ages, and you can just tell, oh no, it's a whole new argument coming. People get more kind of argumentative, people get more possessive, people start splitting up more.
He can't live without a games console, really. And although he got a bit tizzy about which one he was going to have, as soon as he gets one of them, he'll be quite happy, I think, especially when he gets his friends round.
You're not supposed to go in there.
Guys!
You've got me trapped against the wall. It's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have some, just be with my friends and do just something that we enjoy, which is nice. Yes! Instant random headbutt! Yes!
Work for 1993 still isn't over for the tech team. Tom's sorting out yet another delivery.
Now it's time to give the family their first genuine, real, proper mobile phone. And we've picked this beauty. These would have been the toy of the execs and the yuppies and the flashy people.
In the era of pre-digital mobile phones, owning a brick was as much about looking the business as making business sense. The phones were expensive, heavy, and offered limited coverage. Great for showing off, rubbish for reception. In 1993, Britain's mobile network went digital, but calls remained costly, up to 50 pence per minute in today's money. So high-end business users still dominated. As Georgie's a senior manager, she gets the first digital mobile phone.
Oh, look, we've got a gift.
Wow.
Georgie, as you are the high flyer of the family, you can have the first mobile phone. Wow, look at that phone.
I think you'll find that's mine. Thank you.
That's your user manual.
Wow, look at that. Does it have an aerial? Oh, yes.
The Motorola 3200 cost £1,400.
£1,400. It works! Oh, wow. How scary. How much do you think that cost?
What's it like having a mobile again?
It looks different, it feels different, and it feels exciting because we've had nothing equivalent to a mobile at all. So it feels really exciting. But do you know what I most love?
What?
Having something that you're a little bit jealous of.
No.
The early 90s mobile is living up to its reputation as a status symbol.
You most like being called a high flyer, don't you? Well, you are.
No, you really resent that, don't you? You totally
I don't.
But Adam's got his own gadget to gloat over. One of the first ever consumer digital cameras.
Nothing like a digital camera of today.
and he's about to get the perfect opportunity to use it. Tomorrow is 1994, the year Britain was connected to France, and the family are going to Paris.
Really exciting. We're going to Paris tomorrow. Parlez-vous français?
The Channel Tunnel was one of the most ambitious engineering projects Europe has ever seen. Opening in a blaze of glory and huge optimism about European integration.
A really lovely atmosphere here, fantastic sort of festival
And I just had a chocolate croissant, and it's really nice.
Adam and Georgie now possess early versions of modern must-haves.
Select service.
But they are a far cry from today's slim, slick and ubiquitous camera phones.
No one's phoned me. I think maybe that big metal thing's interfering with it. We might get better reception somewhere else.
Actually, she won't. The tech team have made sure of that, because in 1994, no one could automatically make calls from abroad. Will Adam fare better with the camera?
No, you have to go that way. You have to go that way.
It's hard to believe, but just 15 years ago, the digital camera was almost unheard of.
Step one. We can have lots of fun.
There, done.
Though it's easier to understand when you realise that mid-90s models like this Apple QuickTake can store a grand total of 8 pictures.
We've only got 7 left.
Step 2. There's so much we can do.
There's no preview screen.
Okay, we have to have the wine in the background somewhere.
And the resolution is 0.5 megapixel, a tenth of the picture quality of an average modern camera.
Lovely, yes, beautiful.
All this for a whopping 740 quid in today's money.
It's very hard to tell if you're taking the picture. It's very hard to see, and you can't preview it. The camera's rubbish.
He looks quite French. Excusez-moi.
Step by step.
Bye-bye.
Yes, I do, girl.
That's it now. All 8 gone.
Really?
That's 8 taken.
Oh, wow.
All done.
At home, there's a replacement computer waiting for them so they can take a look at Adam's handiwork.
Oh, here we go.
Look at that. It could be us, even.
As 1994 draws to a close, it's clear that the pace of change is becoming pretty exhausting.
Oh, wait, let's finish it.
And there's no letting up in 1995.
Thought we'd run out of new stuff to get.
Before Georgie and Adam can leave for the office, the office has come to them.
The size of that.
Feeding the dream of flexible working, business technology was becoming portable.
Tiny.
It was hoped that you could work anywhere.
It's got a proper aerial as well, look.
Look at that. A real aerial that you have to pull up and sort of as though it was a real intent. So you have real intent. You have got to make a call, got to pull the aerial up. Look at that.
But Adam's aerial's just for show, because it was thought that consumers wouldn't buy a phone without one.
Hey, I'm going to look cool at work today with this.
But did laptops and mobiles mean Britons worked more flexibly, or did they just work more? By 1995, we worked longer hours than anyone else in Europe.
Someone at the door.
That night, there's another delivery to add to the 4 computers they've already received since 1990.
Really heavy. Adam, there's a parcel for me, Steph and Hamish, but it's very heavy. Can you help us?
This is the decade of unending upgrades. Computing power was growing exponentially, the only certainty being that your new machine would fall in price a few months after you'd bought it, and need replacing fairly soon after that.
Ooh, it's working.
The Sullivan Barnes' latest pride and joy has new software, but it's still not what they want.
Got the internet?
Internet tools. Ooh, it's got internet.
It won't have the internet because it's not connected to a phone line.
Instead, the girls will have to make do with interactive CD-ROMs for their homework.
Search for how to survive in the desert because I need to do a leaflet on it.
They were once hailed as the future of reference materials, but for kids who are used to the web, they're not that impressive.
It's got 6 pages of deserts. Boring.
How can you say that is boring?
George is also finding the lack of the internet frustrating. It's forced her to stay late at work.
I needed to finish something that I could otherwise have emailed to myself. There I still was at 5:45 at work, and I was really glaring at the clock thinking, this is when I should be home now. It's almost 6 o'clock and I should be with my family. In a way, it was almost better to have nothing at home like in the 70s than feel like there's a bit of technology but it doesn't do what I want it to yet. Is annoying, really.
Technology's changing fast and moving closer to what they're used to. But it's also making the family more aware of what they're missing.
It'd be great to get the internet. It would be so great to get the internet. It would make life so much easier.
I'm looking forward to the end of the whole thing when I get my phone back.
Can I have the internet quite soon, please? Thank you very much. Good night.
We're not creative enough and we're not positive enough.
It's 1996, Britain's reaching fever pitch. And laddish behaviour wasn't confined to football. It was all over popular culture.
Hello. Hi, Adam.
Today's delivery was the favourite gadget of the 90s new lad. And it comes with its own expert, technology journalist Keith Stewart.
So I brought with me a Sony PlayStation.
Wow!
And lots of games.
It's about time the adults got some fun as well.
Well, I don't know how to work your ancient television.
The little grey box wasn't cheap, costing over £500 in today's money. But 20-somethings in the mid-90s were marrying and having kids later than ever before, leaving them with more money and more time to play.
Tomb Raider was a really important game. Obviously, it's a female lead character.
She's a well-proportioned girl, isn't she?
What Lara Croft was doing was tapping into this kind of idea of kidulthood. 20-something lads who were reading Loaded and FHM weren't really interested in plumbers with moustaches or blue hedgehogs.
Though Sony were complete newcomers to the games industry, by marketing the console as a lifestyle accessory to adults, they soon outsold Sega and Nintendo. The PlayStation now makes more money for the electronics giant than all their other consumer products combined.
Yeah, Hamish, what do you think?
It's better than the Sega.
This is my console, though. But you're all right with that, aren't you? If this is mine. What?
No, it's not fair.
Why isn't it fair?
I have to share.
Adam won't share with Hamish, but he does want to show off his retro toy to some other boys.
Yes, I in. Games for us to play then?
Yeah. Why don't you guys start and I'll get you some beer?
We don't have to be Man United.
Oh, hang on. That's me doing that.
Right, I'm not doing anything. Am I? Or am I?
Well, what do you have to do to actually kick the ball?
It slowly dawns on them that they're not actually playing the game at all. It's still in demo mode.
Hamish! Hamish!
Hamish was just a year old in 1996, but he knows how to sort out the problem.
So your answer is switch it on and off?
Now you.
Okay, now you.
Yes.
Okay. Loading game, right, bring it on.
I will be the Germans. I'll lose. Wunderbar.
Was that David? All right, Hamish, it's lads' night now, so you can clear off, all right? Hamish, haven't you got homework to do?
Life in the 70s, 80s and 90s has given the family something they don't normally have in modern life. A shared living room.
No, we're having pizza, so we'll see you later.
But Adam seems to be reintroducing 21st century protocol, where the living room is an adults-only space in which he keeps his own games console.
This isn't an adult's room.
Yes, it is. It is tonight because it's
not an adult's room.
me and my mates.
Glad there.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Trying not to save.
I definitely don't want to have a games console in the sitting room. And it does feel quite exclusive, Adam being in there with his mates having a good time.
There's nothing done this time.
I guess to a degree this is what I've been dreading. Lots of different entertainment media choices around the house and everybody being off doing their own thing.
Because we've got like loads and loads of new technology and loads of different things, everyone's going off to their own rooms or they're not like mixed with everyone.
Can only get better.
It's 1997, and a wave of optimism is sweeping the nation.
A new dawn has broken, has it not?
Things can only get better.
The UK has its youngest Prime Minister, and while Tony's entertaining Cool Britannia, the family are entertaining themselves. The house is becoming saturated with technology, but for them it's still not enough.
Hello, tech team.
Hi, it's Ellie.
Oh, hello, Ellie.
Hi, I'm calling to say that I would like to get a mobile phone before the end of the 90s.
You need to know, Ellie, that even by the year 2000, only 17% of youngsters had mobile phones. If we were to give you a mobile phone now, people would just think that you've mugged a yuppie.
The kids are impatient for the technology they know must be just around the corner.
Hello? Ellie and me would really like the internet.
Are you really missing it?
Yes. I had some homework and I really needed the internet and I couldn't use it, so... What year do you reckon we'll get it in?
I might spring it on you.
Steph has asked for the internet, but what she really wants is the websites that make up the World Wide Web. In 1997, the number of Britons online was gathering pace, and 6 million were already surfing. Although that's a far cry from the 45 million internet users today, Gia thinks it's time for the Sullivan-Barnes family to get connected. So she heads to CERN in Geneva. The world-famous research centre for physics also happens to be where the World Wide Web was born.
This is the corridor in which it all happened. All these other people.
Robert Caillot worked here alongside British scientist Tim Berners-Lee.
Tim's office was here.
Together, they developed a system that would allow everyone to use the internet.
I see the plaque there where the web was born.
Of course, very, very few people who visit CERN ever come here.
Exactly. But it's here. And we know it's here.
The internet was born in the 1960s in America, out of a military plan to link up computers in order to withstand a nuclear attack. Email began in the 1970s, but until the 90s it was used almost exclusively by the academic community. Berners-Lee had a vision for a service that would hide the underlying complexity of the internet so that anyone could use it.
We called it World Wide Web before the first line of code was written. As a service on the internet, it was either going to take off and become worldwide, de facto, or it was going to be a complete flop.
Caillot saw the potential in Berners-Lee's original proposal, but others at CERN weren't so sure.
This was Tim Berners-Lee's
Original
first proposal.
Yes, Tim's boss, Mike Sendall, had quite some difficulty understanding what it was about. You know, there is even one part here where said, "I don't understand what this interface is," and stuff like that. Here's another note. This is, "I'm not convinced." You know, so, and then he summed it up with the comment, "Vague but exciting."
There were alternatives to the World Wide Web, but you had to pay to use them.
If we had patented this and asked for royalties, it would have become just yet another network system alongside all the other unsuccessful network systems. But precisely because it was not just completely free, but also published and open, everybody could join. Everybody could look at the code. Everybody could try it out, modify it, add to it. It puts the entire web technology into the public domain for the whole world to use. And I think that was crucial.
Mister. Hello.
What are you doing here? How lovely to see you.
Nice to see you.
Ladies.
I've got a present for everyone. It mightn't look like much.
Cable. Internet. Oh yeah.
There. Okay.
Go.
My granny still
What
has
does that noise sound like? Fax.
We are giving you the internet circa 1997. And we've slowed it down, so it's not going to be fast like your normal broadband.
There are now over 230 million websites on the internet.
You're searching.
In 1997, there were barely 1.5 million.
I've just searched Bebo, which is like a social networking site, and it's come up with some weird stuff. Very weird stuff.
You're not as excited as you were, are you? Was the internet rubbish, do you think?
Yes.
While commerce seized on the web and dot-com millionaires were made overnight, it allowed everyday users to do something new, to express themselves in a way the whole world could share.
Whatever you type onto the screen, it will turn it into a web page. This is really, really easy to use. It is really easy to use. Good luck and have fun.
Okay, it's time for this fax machine to be consigned to the garage because we don't need it anymore. Email has arrived.
The arrival of the internet has brought them one step closer to modern life, but Georgie doesn't want them totally sucked back to where they were in 2009.
There's technology all over the house. There's a games console in the sitting room. I thought that was like our final bastion of no technology, wasn't going to be a games console in here. You know how I feel about it. I feel really let down.
Yeah, but this isn't just a games console. This is a PS1.
1998 is here, and the tech team have taken pity on the children.
I'll get it, I'll get it. It's Mimi. Oh, yay, got loads of friends.
Even in the late 90s, few pre-teens got their hands on a mobile.
I'm guessing we've all got a new one then.
But the arrival of pay-as-you-go meant that under-18s could go upwardly mobile.
It's a very exciting moment, this. I'm sending the family the first text. Look what you can do.
The text was originally just a free bonus feature.
Now, more texts are sent per day than there are people on the planet.
The popularity of SMS took the mobile phone industry by surprise. But the nation's children would take it to their hearts.
Oh, I have a message from the tech team. Look what you can do now. What does that mean? Oh, we can text now. Ah, that's what I mean. That closer.
Oh, someone at the door.
The tech team want to give the family a taste of the consumerist boom years of the late 1990s.
It's the smoothie maker.
When imported technology grew more abundant and everything that came into our homes now had a microchip.
No, can we just wait? Can we just get it inside?
And that means delivery after delivery.
Oh, blimey, not another one. You got the instructions?
Yep.
Oh, 3/4 of a cup. Isn't it important to get the ingredients just right in bread? Then you need to twist it in, and then I think we just go start.
But the boom in cheap electronics had its downside.
I've got smoothie makers, I've got steamers, I've got little chopping things. It's horrendous. What advantage is that then? Apart from me having to do more blasted washing up. And now it can go. Thanks very much. Off to the garage with it.
The family's garage has become a museum of obsolete technology, with the biggest contribution coming from the most recent decades. During the 90s, electronics plummeted in price, Even computers were getting cheaper by 25% every year. Britain may have stopped making much in the way of electronics, but it became great at chucking them away. Now the average modern gadget has a lifespan of just over a year.
And the knife block behind you?
That looks all right, actually.
With only 2 days left in the 1990s, the children are keen to know whether they'll be allowed to use the adults-only living room when they return to normal life.
I think it should be a family.
I don't see why you feel so hard done by. You've got your own room with your own TV and your own Sky. Why do you want to come into the adult room?
Because for the whole thing, you've been saying that it's nice that we've been doing things together.
No, Mum's been saying that.
So have you. So have you.
Hang on. All those in favour of family in the previously known as adult room?
Yes.
So when there were adults around?
Four in favour.
And there's someone had an adult room.
The only condition I'd attach is that Georgie and I decide what we're watching in there if there's something on television we want to watch. I'm not backing down from that.
No, I think it's a family decision.
No way. I'm not backing down from that. Because I'm not going to want to watch Hannah Montana, am I?
Neither are we. But if you're just watching things that the rest of us don't want to watch, then it's going to just turn into an Adam room.
I think we need to talk about it after we get through this.
Considering how much time and resources we actually dedicate to all the children, it's nice for us to have somewhere that belongs to us, really.
It's not a job, we do.
Well, no, I know it's not a job, but it still happens, and without wanting to sound selfish, maybe it does sound selfish, but I think it's important to have your own little space and time.
It's 1999. The family's experience is nearly at an end. But so was the world if some computer experts were to be believed.
The millennium could be a disaster for all industrial societies. Every electronic device could act irrationally. It's been the computer industry's dirty little secret for years.
The problem's arisen because, to save space, computers have always stored dates as 2 digits instead of 4. It worked fine until now, but come the year 2000, computers may think it's 1900 and simply fail.
If we don't act, then the result will be loss of money, of power and influence, perhaps on a disastrous scale.
We'd become so reliant on technology that the thought of losing it all really did feel like the end of the world. If the family got the millennium bug, it would be a bit like them going back to 1970. And in our family would actually be able to cope rather well, as they've been able to cope without computers. But, it was a big deal at the time. A very, very big deal.
Of course, 2000 came along without all our computers crashing, leading many to question what all the fuss was about. The Sullivan-Barnes family know that their Millennium Party won't be spoiled by global technological meltdown. To entertain tonight's guests, they're cherry-picking from the 30 years of retro gizmos they've accumulated. The widest choice clearly comes from the decade they've just lived through.
Getting into the 90s was just gadget after gadget, but technology of the 90s has not been a disappointment to me. It's done what it was supposed to do. Accurate stuff, works reasonably well, and some of the design was a little bit shonky in modern standards, but generally I thought it was all right, actually.
Cheers, Adam! Hello?
It's amazing how it's all changed, like from the first mobile phone to being about that big to them now being about that big or smaller.
Technology moved through the house and sort of started off in one room and then kind of ferreted its way out to various other parts of the house, and people kind of moved with it.
All of a sudden we split up quite quickly. Still not as much as we did before it.
And it has become progressively more a question of territory and ownership and, this is my domain.
The tech team don't just bring a bottle to the party. They're making one final delivery, another toy for the grown-ups.
It's the ultimate 90s party accessory.
Oh, no!
Mom, it's a karaoke machine! The 90s was the time when there was this blurring between childhood and adulthood, work and home. And it's not really necessarily that there became more of a work-life balance, it's just that work and life and family all came together.
For the Sullivan-Barnes family, it's not just the end of the 90s. It's the end of a truly unique journey through 3 decades of technological progress. The tech team's work is done.
We've had a blast, haven't we? It's been amazing.
Thank you, Ben.
Have fun in the future.
Thanks
Good luck.
so much, everybody. Now that it's over, it's just like, well, it's all going to go and we're just going to be a normal family again.
But when they wake up in 2009, will their technological journey have changed the Sullivan-Barnes family? It's now been a month since the family and their home have returned to 2009.
It's great to have all my technology back. I've got to tell you, I like my gadgets. I've always liked my gadgets. I still like my gadgets. Nice to be back in the 21st century.
The family's trip to lower tech times has shown them that they actually like spending time together. To preserve this spirit of togetherness, they've hung on to something from the home's layout in those earlier decades.
I was saying that we should make the adult room into the family room, and we've done that to see how it works, and I think we're going to keep it like that.
I think that I'll go and spend more time downstairs doing things with everyone else. Mainly because I think it's just because my mum wants me to do it, and I think I should.
What have you got?
Georgie, despite herself, has come to see how integral technology is to modern childhood.
This whole experience has absolutely made me realise how important technology is to the kids and in particular to Hamish. I've seen how I've let the children evolve into children that need that technology.
Kids, you come in watching film. Want to watch film?
Seeing the impact of 40 years of technological change has brought the family together. Even techno-skeptic Georgie and gadget lover Adam have reached a new understanding.
I think Georgie and I have kind of got closer together in terms of our viewpoints of technology. So, you know, she's come a little bit closer to me in terms of realising that technology is quite, I won't say important, but it has a useful place in the world. And I've come a bit closer to her viewpoint, which is that it's kind of nice for us to spend time together, doing stuff together, even if it is technology related.
And you can continue your journey through the decades online with the BBC and the Open University. Visit bbc.co.uk/Electric Dreams.
Next tonight here on BBC4, putting a wide range of hypotheses to the test, Andy Hamilton and Reginald D. Hunter, plus one guest scrutineer, invite a bevy of experts to the table in It's Only a Theory.